Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Tulip Siddiq, the gift keeps on giving. Every day, new revelations, new things on this ongoing story of corruption and chummery, where she's backing Starmer to become an MP. He then rises to the very top. He appoints her as a Minister for Corruption. Oh, the delicious irony. She is now mired in the corruption. We've done the video yesterday. Starmer also appears to be up to his neck in it. There is so much of this sloshing around, and it is wonderful to behold as you see her taking the fall for him. She is his bodyguard. She will take one for the team, Team Starmer. They will throw everyone under the bus to protect the tiny little prick that is the Prime Minister. Well, as the Bangladeshi government's corruption investigation trundles on, it is a force to be reckoned with. The claims into the corruption against Tulip Siddiq are part of that, and it's been widened. And they are now also looking at her political connections, and of course, with Starmer being so closely linked to her family, spending time on holiday with her crooked, corrupt aunt, probably and allegedly getting funding from that family in order to push his political career. They will be investigating Keir Starmer too, a foreign government investigating the British Prime Minister for corruption. You couldn't make it up. She, of course, has referred herself, and I did the story yesterday, she's referred herself to the commission, in Parliamentary Standards Commission in the House. And she wants what she calls a fact-finding mission to determine if an investigation is needed, which is the new kind of processology invented by Labour that seems to stop short of an actual investigation. What it is, it's a little investigation to see if a full investigation is necessary. And so they've appointed this guy called Sir Laurie Magnus, great name, and his brief is to advise on the Ministerial Code to see whether there is any potential for it being broken, in which case there has to be a full investigation. He, of course, will find the complete opposite. He will be finding that, oh no, as it turns out, there'll be no investigation because no rules appear to have been broken. And then in the future, they can say, oh, well, this woman should have been investigated. Well, she was investigated, and they'll point to this investigation by Laurie Magnus. And they will say, but we did investigate and there was nothing there to find. Oh, no, see. So they'll use this as a cover, a little condom of innocence to protect the guilty pricks inside. But it is unclear from whether the independent advisor's terms, Laurie Magnus's terms and conditions, whether this can actually happen at all. Because the brief has been set up in such a way that they are going to have this little mini investigation into her alleged corruption, but it's not allowed to look at any alleged corruption. I'm shitting you not. They're limiting the scope to the period after which Siddiq became a minister, because they're saying it's ministerial corruption. So it can only be investigating things that happened after she becomes a minister. So everything that went before has magically disappeared. It's been made to disappear. It's been put away. So she could be the most corrupt politician ever, but they're not allowed to look at that. They're only allowed to look at what happened since becoming a minister. That in itself is unacceptable and is corrupt, isn't it? Even the investigation now is corrupt because Labour are so afraid of being investigated because they know not only will Tulip Siddiq obviously have many skeletons in that particular cupboard, but the links to those skeletons to Keir Starmer will be unmissable, and that will drag him right into it. So what are they doing? They're limiting the investigation, good people, so that nobody can connect Keir Starmer with the corrupt regime in Bangladesh, even though he spent a lot of time there on holidays that he did not pay for, in their home, living with them. but you're not allowed to know that. Oh no, we've got to keep that a big, big secret. Now, the Ministerial Code does state that on appointment to each new office, I've got to read this because it's there. On appointment to each new office, ministers must provide their permanent secretary with a full declaration in writing of private interests which might be thought to give rise to a conflict, actual or perceived. This declaration should also cover interests of the minister's spouse or partner and close family. And this could be the only subject which Magnus can definitely comment. Basically, he's being asked to judge whether Siddiq should have declared whether she should have shown the links to her family and to her friends, such as, for example, the Prime Minister. Now, did she declare the property that she was given by a very close associate of a leader of a controversial foreign political party in Bangladesh? When she was made minister, did she declare it? And the answer is, of course, no, she didn't. Now, for some reason, political hacks aren't pushing this story. One can only assume they've been told if they push this story, they'll lose access to ministers or to the Prime Minister or to information. And so they're now no longer investigative journalists, they're access media. You know, they'll publish what the government tell them to publish. They're not allowed to investigate and ask questions because of embarrassment to the Prime Minister. They're wonderful, aren't they? They're constantly writing hagiographs about how great Starmer is and how great this person is and how great that person is. But nobody is mentioning this dark, and what I'm going to say, alleged, I've got to say alleged because, you know, legal. This dark alleged corruption at the heart of this government involving a potentially corrupt minister with very close family ties to a definitely corrupt regime in Bangladesh. The same family that definitely hosted our Prime Minister on a holiday for which he did not pay. Makes you wonder if he declared. There's the close links between him and Tulip Siddiq. There's all the problems of the £700,000 flat. There's problems with where various funding comes from. None of this being investigated because they've limited the investigation so very tightly that they can't possibly ask those questions. I leave those questions up to you, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think? Is there corruption? Does it link to the Prime Minister? In my mind, as an opinion, yes. What do you think? Thanks a lot. Bye.